Right now, somewhere in the world, a billionaire is lying awake at 3 in the morning feeling completely empty. And right now, somewhere else, a man with almost nothing is sleeping like a baby, genuinely at peace with his life. That is not an accident. That is proof of something most people refuse to accept. Happiness has nothing to do with what you own. It has everything to do with what you have trained your mind to do. Here is the bold claim I am going to defend for the next few minutes. You are not unhappy because your life is missing something. You are unhappy because you were taught to chase happiness in the wrong direction. And once you see the real direction, you cannot unsee it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why some of the richest, most successful people in history died miserable. You will know why people who owned almost nothing walked through life at peace. Stay with me. Step 3 is the one nobody talks about. And it is the one that changes your daily life the fastest. Let us get into it. Step 1. Stop postponing your life. Most people are living on a promise that never gets kept. I will be happy when I get the promotion. I will be happy when I hit that number in my account. I will be happy when they finally notice me. Sounds familiar, right? Here is the problem. That finish line keeps moving. You hit the goal. You feel good for maybe a week. Then your brain quietly resets and starts chasing the next thing. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it the hedonic treadmill. You run and you run, but you never actually arrive anywhere new. The fix is not to stop having goals. Dream big. Build the life you want. The fix is to stop handing today's peace over to a tomorrow that never shows up. Do your work with excellence. Love the people right in front of you. Notice the small stuff. The coffee that actually tastes good this morning. The random text from an old friend. The simple fact that you woke up today at all. People who feel happy every single day are not people with perfect lives. They are people who stopped waiting for perfect before they let themselves feel good. Let that sink in for a second, because it changes everything once you actually believe it. Think about the last time you actually felt free. Really free. Chances are it was not some huge milestone. It was probably something small. A walk with no destination. A laugh that caught you off guard. A moment where you forgot to check your phone. Nobody remembers their happiest moments as the day they hit a number in their bank account. They remember a dinner table, a song in the car, a hand on their shoulder at the right time. Your brain already knows where happiness actually lives. The problem is you keep overriding it. You keep telling yourself the real life starts later, once the promotion comes, once the debt is paid off, once the house is bigger. But later never actually arrives as a finish line. Later is just another today wearing a disguise. So stop treating this version of your life like a rough draft. This is not a rehearsal. This is the actual thing. Step 2. Want less, not more. There is an old idea that gets lost in modern life. It is not the person who has little who is poor. It is the person who can never stop wanting more. Picture a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You can pour in money. You can pour in attention. You can pour in achievement after achievement. Doesn't matter how much you pour in. It drains right back out. Because the hole never gets patched. That hole is unchecked desire. Every new purchase gives you a little spike of excitement. Every win. Every bit of praise. But the spike fades in days. sometimes hours, and then you are right back to wanting the next thing. This does not mean stop striving. It does not mean give away everything you own and move to the woods. Work hard. Build something. Chase the goals that matter to you. Just stop tying your peace of mind to the outcome, because the people who actually feel rich are not the ones with the most stuff. They are the ones who need the least in order to feel okay. Read that again. They need the least in order to feel okay. That is the real definition of wealth. Think about the wealthiest person you can picture in your head right now. Now ask yourself something honestly. Do you actually know if they are at peace? You do not. Nobody does from the outside. History is full of kings who had entire kingdoms and still could not sleep at night. Full of famous people who had the whole world watching them and still felt completely alone. Money solves money problems. That is it. That is the whole list. It does not solve the problem of a mind that never stops reaching for the next thing. Only you can solve that one. And you solve it by practicing satisfaction on purpose, not by accident. Not only when things happen to go well, on purpose. Look around right now at what you already have. Your health. The people who show up for you. The roof over your head tonight. Most of history would have called that an extraordinary life. We call it Tuesday. Step 3. And this is the one most people skip right past. Discipline is where happiness actually lives. Discipline is not punishment. It is not about being hard on yourself. It is about freedom. Freedom from being yanked around by your own impulses every single day. Skipping the gym feels good for about 90 seconds. Doom scrolling for 2 hours feels good in the moment too. Putting off the thing you know you should be doing. All of it feels fine right up until it does not. Right up until you feel worse than before you even started. The real prize of discipline is not the body. It is not the bank account. The real prize is becoming someone who does not panic when life gets hard. Because you already trained yourself to act on your values instead of your mood. That is what real stability actually feels like. You stop needing motivation to show up. Because showing up is simply who you are now. Say that with me. Discipline is not the enemy of happiness. Discipline is the foundation underneath it. Here is what nobody tells you about undisciplined days. They do not feel relaxing, they feel scattered. You wake up late. You scroll before you even get out of bed. You put off the hard task until it becomes an emergency. And by the end of the day you feel drained. Even though technically you did nothing all day. That is not rest. That is chaos wearing the costume of rest. Real rest comes after real effort. It is earned. It is not stolen from a day you were supposed to be building something. Compare that to a disciplined day. You wake up on purpose. You do the hard thing first while your mind is clear. You keep your word to yourself. Even in the small ways nobody else will ever see. By the end of that day you are tired too. But it is a different kind of tired. It is the tired of a person who respects themselves. Not the tired of a person who is hiding from themselves. That difference is enormous. And it compounds every single day you choose it. Step 4. Give something away today. This is the most counterintuitive one, and maybe the most powerful. We are taught happiness comes from getting. A bigger house, more followers, more recognition, more. But a life built only around receiving eventually feels hollow. no matter how much keeps coming in. Ask yourself a different question instead. Who can I make life a little easier for today? Not for credit, not for a thank you. Just because you can. There is real brain science behind this, by the way. Generosity lights up the exact same reward pathways as receiving something good yourself. Some people call it the helper's high, and it is very real. The people who genuinely glow with happiness are usually not the ones who accumulated the most. They are the ones who gave the most of themselves, without keeping score, without needing anyone to notice. Think about the last time someone helped you for no reason. Held a door, covered a bill you were short on, sent a message right when you needed it most. Did you forget that? Probably not. Small acts like that stay with people for years, sometimes forever. And you have that same power over someone else's day, right now, today. You do not need extra money to give. You do not need extra time you do not have. Sometimes giving is just full attention, actually listening to someone instead of waiting for your turn to talk. Sometimes it is a genuine compliment you almost kept to yourself. Say it out loud instead. Sometimes it is simply being patient with someone who is having a hard day. None of that costs you anything, and all of it multiplies. So here is the truth in one line. Happiness was never something you'll find out there somewhere. It is something you build. One ordinary day at a time, through what you notice, through what you want, through what you practice, and through what you give away. There is one more thing worth saying before we close this out. Nobody talks about how much comparison quietly steals from people. You open your phone, you see someone's vacation, someone's new car, someone's highlight reel dressed up to look like their whole life. And without even realizing it, your mood just dropped a little. You did not lose anything real. Nothing in your actual life changed in that moment. But your brain reacted like you did. That is the trap. Comparison convinces you that your life is behind somehow, even when 5 minutes ago you felt completely fine. The people who protect their happiness the best are not the ones who never compare. They are the ones who catch themselves doing it, and gently bring their attention back to their own life, their own pace, their own version of a good day. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where your own story needs you to be right now. Say that to yourself the next time the scroll starts pulling you under. Most people spend their whole life waiting for the big moment, the big win, the big arrival. But the big moment never actually delivers what they think it will. It never does. Ask anyone who has actually gotten there. The promotion, the house, the relationship they thought would fix everything. For a little while it feels incredible. And then life just goes back to normal. The dishes still need washing. The alarm still goes off too early. The same doubts creep back in at night. This is not a depressing fact. It is actually the most freeing fact you will ever learn. Because if happiness does not live in the big arrival, then it has to live somewhere else. It has to live in the ordinary Tuesday, in the drive to work, in the conversation with your kid before bed, in the quiet 10 minutes with your coffee before the world wakes up. Once you actually accept that, you stop treating today like a waiting room. You stop treating your life like something that starts later. And you start living like this, right now, is the actual life. Not a rehearsal for some better version coming eventually. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. They did not have phones. They did not have algorithms feeding them comparison every 5 seconds. But they still had to fight the exact same battle we fight. The battle between chasing more and being at peace with enough. And they figured something out that we keep forgetting. Peace is not the reward you get after you win. Peace is a skill. You build it the same way you build a muscle. A little bit every single day. Through small choices most people never notice themselves making. Choosing gratitude over comparison. Choosing discipline over comfort. Choosing to give instead of only taking. None of it is dramatic. None of it will trend online. But stack those choices day after day, and you end up with something almost nobody has anymore. A calm mind in a chaotic world. That is worth more than any amount of money. That is worth more than any amount of followers or likes or approval from strangers. And here is the part that should actually give you hope. None of this requires you to change your entire life overnight. You do not need a new job by Friday. You do not need a new city. You do not need to become a completely different person. You just need to start noticing. Start noticing where you already have enough. Start noticing when you are chasing something out of habit instead of real desire. Start noticing the version of you that shows up when you keep your word to yourself. Start noticing how it feels when you give without keeping score. Small shifts, repeated daily. That is the entire formula. There is no secret beyond that, no hidden step being kept from you. Just consistency with things that actually matter. So here is what I want you to actually do with this. Do not just nod along and move on to the next video. Pick one thing from today. Just one. Maybe it is noticing something small today instead of rushing past it. Maybe it is catching yourself wanting something you do not actually need. Maybe it is doing the disciplined thing instead of the easy thing. Just once. Or maybe it is helping someone without telling anyone you did it. Pick one. And actually do it today. Not tomorrow. Not when things calm down. Today, because tomorrow has a funny way of never actually arriving. If this hit you the way it hit me when I first learned it, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want the next video where I break down exactly how to build these habits step by step, hit subscribe to Stoic Virtus so you do not miss it. I will see you in the next one.